Welcome to the galley kitchen with Leslie. Ranger is resting right now. I think that we can see everything. Let me lower this a little bit. Good morning, everyone. We're having breakfast today. The Liberty Kitchen for all my friends who love and support furthering liberty and like a good meal as well. This morning we're making Western omelets. More of a Spanish omelet than a Western omelet. Kind of a mix of cultures, because I don't want to be called out for cultural appropriation. So perhaps we should keep this American, whatever that means, of course. I'm open to all cultures, and I think it's a beautiful thing and a sign of respect by sharing and appreciating all the different cultures and foods all around the world. Because if people from other countries enjoy it, so too should we if we just give it a chance and have it prepared by someone who knows what they're doing, or at least adds a touch of love. We'll start off with a soapstone, a sharpening stone, an ancient type of way to sharpen. You could sharpen it against a stone along the river. Somewhat depends on its molecular structure. Granite is harder than steel, depending on how you hit it. If I slam the corner, I might chip something off. So these are called whetstones, so we must wet it with water. I'm getting water, everyone. Don't leave me. I'm coming right back to you. Just went out of the screen, that's all. There's some water on the cutting board, on the soapstone. You can see some glisten, perhaps. You don't need much. You can always get more. I normally don't stick it on top of a warming pan, but it won't be here long. It's probably a good 60 or 80 or 100 years old. So, this is a chef's knife. I hold it like so. Not back here, although you could. It's not hard to get into a new habit if you give it time, regardless of your age, really. Dogs can do that, but they do have different psychology. They can be taught at any point in their life. It's the humans who hold on to their baggage. Dogs just a little bit. They sense their baggage through you. So here's a knife. Just at the slightest angle. You can hear that. I can hear it. And then the other side, it could use more water. I'll put it there. And I'm putting my finger down here just to get a little pressure. Like anything in life, you'll get used to it. And you're just taking off literally molecular edges to try to reach that angle. It needs more water, excuse me. I'm coming right back. I haven't abandoned you. See, I'm here. I'm always here. You can hear the difference with more water. It allows that friction. And then you have honing stones and so on, but this is sufficient for me. There are some local supermarkets or chains that will actually sharpen your knives for you gratis. Even some with a smile. You just leave it for them as you shop and come back later. It's a service because a sharp knife is actually safer than a dull knife. They have to push through the food and then it slips off and cuts you. Many a times I've had to take my chefs to the hospital. Thankfully not for fry burns, even when I had a chicken, fish, and shrimp chain. But my country French restaurant, we didn't do frying. It was a different type of place. And while I have this out, I'll just sharpen another bit. Put this back. I'm just getting some tomato sliced up. Well, these will all come together before the end. These, as you can see, hello there. These are a bit wrinkled, like my face, but there are different uses because it still has the flavor. Actually, it's a little bit more concentrated because some of the water has dissipated from it, like raisins. We don't want these tissues. My daughter says it's like a way a granny does it. They stick tissues. So these we'll use in the Western Spanish omelet. Or we could make a little hole poked in it and put it into our toaster oven or a dryer, toasted food dryer, to slowly make these into a dried tomato for other uses. So there are always lots of uses, or just throw it into a soup, anything you can think of. That's why we have such wonderful, imaginative minds as human beings. So I'll just cut these in half. It cuts easily. You know how hard sometimes it is cutting a tomato. I should have showed you a test to see how this knife would have been more difficult to slice through the tomato. Now, with a simple back and forth motion, with mostly even the weight of the knife, you can see how my hand is here to help guide it and control it more. Right? It's also a good idea to have a scrap container with a more complex meal where you're taking a lot of scraps that need to go to the garbage to save you trips back and forth. So you can just take one trip when you're done. We have eggs. We have 2 eggs. These have pretty thin shells, so I have to be careful when I break them. And just drop it in the tap. I don't want it to break. If you want to separate the egg yolk from the whites, like, see that just all the whites are out. Whites are out, I'm left with the yolk. If I'm just using whites, then the yolk would be used for my dog, Liberty Ranger, as a supplement for his food. The white albumin is not as easily digestible for dogs who cook it. If it's just once in a while, it doesn't make a difference. We're using the whole thing today. I'll be cleaning my fingers again. I'm going slowly. This is a slow-paced Leslie today. Not my frenetic Leslie, right? Okay. I'm washing my hands, everyone. I'll be right back. I even set up my sink because I was a bed and breakfast in here. It used to be spick and span. I'll be out of here in a few months. This is among the last Liberty Galley kitchens you'll see from this kitchen. I've turned down a couple of Food Network platforms, not the Food Network. I haven't even asked them, it's just others came upon what I've done because I have a niche, a liberty niche, and I'm a bit eccentric. My kitchen is set up so I don't have to touch my fingers to the faucet and other things. I can use the back of my hand or my wrist so I don't cross-contaminate. And the distance between my sink and the counter and this, I have a pivot between that, like a basketball player, where I guess by one step or a step and a half, I can get anywhere in my kitchen. So I tell others, consider that I'm always in 2 places at once, possibly with a knife, to step back, because I still move quickly at times. For this, I'm going to add just a drop of butter into this. That's a good way to make a good omelet. According to Chef Ramsay, it works. Everyone loves my omelets. Know whether you're using salted or unsalted butter to know what butter you need to adjust. You could use bread for your toast if you want a starch side, or a tortilla shell slightly toasted, or even rice to make it more like a Spanish style, which we're doing today. So we'll use this on the side of this plate before we're done. It's a clean plate. So we'll just shoot up a little bit of this butter. We're not to brown it. Browning butter a little bit would be a Louisiana roux. Add a bit of filet, sassafras leaves. It's the plant that has 3 different leaves attached to it. This is almond milk. We're going to use it 2 ways, just a splash. And in here, I'm going to make some chocolate milk. Chocolate milk I always ask for. And I have some tea. It has nothing in it. I don't drink much hard alcohol, although I do enjoy Drambuie. It's a Scotch-based drink. It'll dull your taste bud, but it's not an aperitif like sherry or American or Campari soda before a meal to stimulate your taste buds. In Palm Beach, where I lived for a while, the restaurant's food isn't that great because the first thing the waiters do is ply you with hard liquor, so you can't even taste the fancy food they serve you. Some are better than others. Just the tiniest touch of salt, I don't have to. And some pepper. It's a really cool Turkish peppermill. I love it. Add your peppercorns into that little slot here. They come in different sizes. They'll last you a lifetime if you clean it out. And make sure you don't get too much liquid condensation on the bottom. And then it's a huge cleanup and it's worth it. I'll just put a little bit. Some people want to put white pepper in to not see the black flakes. It's for me. I don't care. It has more flavor to me, black pepper. The white pepper is more just heat. Alright. Put this butter in. It's not much. To give it a buttery flavor. Turn that heat off for now. Throw cooking tips in. And then you might make sure that top's closed, please. Who needs to clean up another mess? La cucaracha, a fun song that I used to listen to all the time in Looney Tunes cartoons that are mostly now banned and censored. Anyway, you can do this meatless and just go semi-vegetarian by using ovums. It depends on what your personal philosophy or medical condition is. I have some turkey kielbasa for the eggs. I've been pushing it, I admit. I'm going to sit down a bit. Hello everybody, I'm back, I'm alive. It's been about an hour, but it doesn't seem like that to you because it's like a time machine. Amazing. Technology is amazing. I lie down while I got my electrolyte balanced back a little bit. Watch some of the great Bow on Clash with Bow. And we'll get through this together because we're a team, right? Oh yeah, here's Liberty Ranger. Hello, Liberty Ranger. Look how beautiful he is. He's 13 years old. Look at that beautiful smile. But he's a little camera shy. I will turn Bow off. Although only Bow can turn Bow off. I'll get the milk back out. I did put that away. It's actually almond milk. I just use whole milk for my mighty fine chocolate pudding. I hope you can hear me. Getting my almond milk. You bet. Chocolate syrup. I didn't say it's healthy. I just said it's chocolatey chocolate milk. That's what I asked for. when I go out for restaurants and the waitresses smile knowingly. And a little stir as it goes in with my long teaspoon. It's silver plate from my mother's original collection when she was about 21 or 19 when she was first married. It's Roger's silver plate. And it's called First Love from my mother that got passed down in a generation. Give that a little sip. A little extra chocolatey, how I want it, even more so, because I'm going to ice it down. Make sure that it's really stirred well. Into the sink. I'm rinsing my ice. Not that I need to. I'm dropping into my chocolate milk. Taking a little saran wrap. Remove my plastic straw. Shoot me. It has a foldable top. I could even reuse it. Cut it into little pieces before I put it in the garbage. Because I'm such a good citizen. Put it through quickly. You can put a paper straw through a potato if you do it right. Well, and other things too. There are lots of weapons we have that don't seem like weapons. So shake it around. The ice will keep it cold, of course, and melt to bring it to the right sweetness for my chocolate milk. As I sip it, putting this on my tray. Pardon me, please. Oh, this is too hot. I'm burning the oil already. You hear that sizzle? Snap, crackle, pop. Get the fire lit. These chunks that we cut before of the turkey kielbasa, just to toast it off just a little bit. I'm not going to bother with now, but I will get this oil, this good oil. I just started yesterday. Get that heated up to make some cabin fried potatoes. You can practice shaking. You can shake it. You can practice some dry beans. So what's here? Red onion. Oh, let's get the potatoes cut. These are potatoes that I already peeled. They're already microwaved. So I just cut them into some thick slices. And these are a little bit of residual moisture on it. So I'll just take a paper towel and wipe it down a little bit so it doesn't sizzle up. And I don't get too much oil splattering on my eyeballs. I prefer not to do that. I'm not a masochist or a sadist. I'll be right back, everybody. Don't go away, don't leave me, don't abandon me. I'm not abandoning you, so don't abandon me, please. I appreciate it. I like the company, although I do have my dog, and that is rather good company. I'm going to just put a little water into this oil. Why would Leslie want to do that? Because I can see if it's getting hot. It's probably not hot enough yet. No, not quite. I can hear a little sizzles. All right. You can put the back of a wooden chopstick. If it sizzles around the outside, you know you're getting your heat about right. Or throw in a piece of bread, see how fast it toasts up, or a thermometer. There are lots of other ways to estimate. So I'll just drop in a little one. See the potato? It's probably not hot enough yet. Well, barely. I don't want to rush it, so in the meantime, I want to get the heat up a little bit more. Because if you get a seal of the crispness around it, you don't get that frying oil permeating inside your frying foods. That's why it's critical to have it up at the right temperature. So we're going to use a bit of a yellow pepper, which I've already used part for other dishes. I'll just slice a small part away, use it again, and a little bit of the leaves of some celery, and the leaves, not much, more for garnish and minor flavoring. We're not using the celery itself for the meal. And you can take your chef knife, hold it like I said, put your finger on the other as a fulcrum, and then you can just go like that. When I clean things off of the cutting board, I generally would use the back of the knife to keep the sharpness to it, so you can clean off the board like that, as opposed to like that. Add a few more of these potatoes in, although I should add the thicker ones first. I think you might be able to hear the sizzle. I'll put this in slowly. Try to add it, anything you put into oil. So you put the tip in closest to you, but you drop the high end away from you. So if there's any oil splattering, it's splattering away from you. The same as when you're tilting your soup. You tilt it away from you so it doesn't spill on you or your guests next to you. It's your own home. You do what you want when you're among company. You might want to consider not opening your mouth too much while you're eating, and so on. I do like to eat with my hands. Spares. I've seen others so dainty. They'll put anything do this with chicken wings or buffalo wings to wrap a little bit of towel around the edge, right? So you can hold the drumstick like that when you take your bite. Yeah. And keep your fingers clean, or with spare tips and things like that. I'll give that a little more heat because I've reduced it with all the additional mass that's a little bit moist. If I was putting in a raw potato, I would put it in paper towel to reduce some of that extra liquid. U-Berts away, let's put just a few things away to clear off some of this area. So my mind isn't cluttered while I'm cooking. I'll be right back, everyone. Don't go away, please. I'll be right back. Have a little patience. We're friends. We're living friends. There we go. And you have the entertainment of sizzle. We're going to slice the yellow pepper. There's a little bit of a dark spot here. So we'll just cut that off and put it into our throwaway pan for garbage. Putting it in the sink. If it was plastic, I would have thrown it in there. Nice. Duck! Just want to make sure you're awake. I'm putting just a small amount of oil. Not much amount. A fifth of a cup. We don't even know how to measure that. Other than it's a smidgen. And just enough to coat the pan. I spilled a little out. I'm a little tired. I'll lower that heat. Potatoes. And you can see there's an onion that's trying to grow. So I've just used this as I would a scallion. It was actually out to here I've used before. There's a little bit out here. I'll just cut off the end. And use these for decoration at the end. I'll slice this thinly. It's nice to do things like that on top of Chinese dim sum just before you serve it. You don't need much. And we can mix that with the celery. Throw in the yellow peppers into the oil. Raise that heat a little bit. Just keep your eye on heat. Don't hurry things. It should be an enjoyable experience. The more you do it, the easier it becomes, like all things in life in general. Always add caveats. Mostly. Sometimes. Not always. Caveats are a good thing. So you can hear that signal. Okay? You can make it jump, a rock and roll. I'll save this for another time. A lot of multitasking for my food. In the restaurant, I try to instruct staff. Don't necessarily use 100% of something. That way we can have it available if there's a special order or just for the unknown. Just to plan ahead a little bit. And when you cut, it's more like this to protect your thumb and you use it as a guide. It's a little awkward at first, but it does reduce injuries. And I change from the front to the back of my knife to scrape this to the side. Now I'll add it in with the yellow peppers. Give it another shake. Turn off the heat because the residual heat should be enough for now. This is a tomato sauce, just a can. I doctored it up with whatever appropriate sweetness. There were already some. You see how that's sizzling away? It's coming down without even any heat. There's so much left in there. And these other tomatoes and other things that we reserved, I'll add that in now. Just let that marry in. Here we go. Make sure potatoes are still good. You can see them browning just a little bit. I'll use that for a few different meals. Tavern fried potatoes. That's cooked enough, so I'm putting this back into that container. There we go. You can learn volumes very quickly in cooking. I'll just rinse this pan out just for a second. It'll only take me count. Let's count together. 1, 1.5, 1 3/4, 1 in a million, and I'm back. Turn on the heat. There we go. Turning off the heat for the potatoes, let it cook in its residual heat. We'll take them out soon. We have this in reserve. It's our sauce for both the inside and the outside of the omelet, which we will soon prepare. I hope you don't mind me sticking my finger up my nose up in here to just a little taste. That's fine. A little tartness, realizing it's marrying into other flavors. We'll get a paper plate out. Sometimes we'll just fold the edges to give it a rim so things don't catch on fire, so that things don't fall off. Paper towels are coming. Paper towels on the paper plate. A spider, it's called a spider. This is just a leftover item from my restaurant. You don't need this small kitchen spider to find. I have one. I saw this first. So that's the one I'm using. And here are potatoes. Tap down a little bit, some of the extra oil if you want. I generally add just a little bit of salt to fried foods, not much, just immediately it adheres to it better. We'll put these to the side. On top here, I could have my toaster oven on low just to keep it on warm. Looking around, I had some cheese here. This is sharp cheddar. You can use whatever cheese you want, a Monterey Jack, a pepper cheese, whatever floats your boat. I'm using that side of the grater. It's a little sticky, so if I'm using two cheeses, I might use a hard Parmesan following this, which self-cleans the grater a bit. Isn't that a great idea? I think so. And that should be okay. Maybe a little more, not much. It's just an egg for me. And here's the container. I have it in. Sometimes I'll stick a tiny bit of paper towel in with this, or either a dry or slightly moistened paper towel, depending on the food product, vegetable, or cheese, hard cheese or soft cheese, reducing the mold. When I put, let's say that this, instead of being a red hot sauce, it was mayonnaise or sour cream, I would turn it upside down, because then the air is forced here and it reduces the rate of molding. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. You sit down, please. I appreciate everyone else who's still just staying there and enjoying our moment together. It's a slow day for Leslie. I'll be right back. If I live from my refrigerator to you, I'll be right back. Other than that, I don't make promises. Not even to my children, because I don't know what the future brings. I can simply do my best and hope that my words equal my actions in life. I'm going to take this hot oil and just move it aside to get it out of the way and make sure that wooden handle doesn't end up catching fire, or my face over this. Oh, that feels good. Oh, you're like a sauna. Put this plate on here because it's a heat-proof plate from France. Yes, the nation that helped free us from Great Britain, with their navy and a few troops disembarked around the Newport area many years ago. Clean that. All right, so I'm going to drop a little bit of oil in the pan, not much, just to mix it with the vegetable oil, not olive oil, unless you're using a second press olive oil, not EVOO, extra virgin olive oil, which is better either at the end of a meal that you're prepping, or under low heat, or just as a plain salad dressing, because it has a low flash point. It burns easily, and that's not healthy for you. And with that, we're going to mix this butter that we already cut some pieces. a considerable amount of butter for this, but what the oil does is reduce the flash point of the butter. It's so little you can't really tell. If it begins to get slightly brown, that's fine. It'll give you just a little nutty flavor. And you teach you why. Nuts, like all of us who are involved in the First Amendment auditor movement, which I like to now call, thanks to New Mexico citizen, compliance auditors, because that's what we really are as the main set of what all the others are as subsets. Think about it. Catching the animal in its natural habitat. It's a compliance law everyone does. Whether you're an observer, a cop watcher, an auditor, a free press, free citizen press, any of the above. So here we go. Adding it in, remember we shook it. Bullseye. Take it off the heat a little bit. Lift up an edge to let it settle in. Get under the side, see? I know my priorities. Turning that off, covering it. Alright, no name from Tennessee. Reba, 51550 from Tennessee Volunteers, sub to her. She's great. Not many activists of quality in that region of the country, as Major Lee Austin has mentioned recently in one of his videos how few we have. In Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana specifically, dangerous out there. All right, so let's put it here. You can see how beautiful that looks. Add some cheese. And the items here. It doesn't have to be all of it. Saving some of the liquid. I don't want the liquid in here. Not too much. We don't have to use everything. Common sense prevails. Amadeus. Great movie. One line there talked about too many notes. When the Prince of Prussia asked Mozart, who the prince asked to make an opera in German instead of Italian or French, and I think Salieri, Mozart's nemesis, who understands, as Mozart does, the nature of music, and how great Mozart was, Salieri was just jealous of him. So the prince looks at Mozart when Mozart wants to know, well, how'd you like the opera, Your Highness? Well, too many notes. And Mozart responds, well, exactly which notes would you like me to remove? I thought they had exactly the number that it should have. So too many notes is adding that one extra ingredient. See, we flip it over, put it back. It looks like this with the melted cheese. I've simply taken that and gently rolled it over into an omelet shape. Put this plate on here. Take this off with my long spatula. And roll it over onto here, onto my plate. Cover up any loose ends there. I can drop a little cheese on top if I want. Any combination you want. Get the rice here. You could get beans if you want. You could use some beans on the side, or a white fish instead of some of the other toppings, old combinations, whatever your imagination can come up with. Some of those. Other items. A little bit of sauce on top. This might be too many notes, it might not be. You get the idea? Here's a little hot sauce, because I like it a little hot. I could have added it in with the sauce. I forgot. Not much. Whatever you like, it just adds another dimension to the two-dimensional dish. Whatever is good for your palate. Start with a little bit. Different types of peppers and dried peppers actually have a fruitiness to them. Turn off the fan. We don't need that. Since I've shrunk, since I bought this house 20 years ago, I have to go up my tippy toes now to turn this. That's the aging process. So I'll clean this up later, although I do like to generally clean, caveat, while I work. Whistle while you work, so you're not a big jerk. Okay, put my peppermill away. Take some of my grandma tissues back out. I hope you can hear me. We're among friends here, aren't we? I hope so. My liberty friends. Furthering liberty as opposed to diminishing it. That's not a lot to ask. Call on the public who doesn't have the knowledge that we were profoundly born with. Karens and Brads does not further liberty. It distances those who we want to teach what we already know. Just think about it, please. Oh yeah, we have our potatoes. Like tavern fried potatoes. Don't really need it, we have the rice. But there's a nice crispy one. Does that look great or what? So let's pick out a few of those nice crunchy crispy ones. That looks beautiful, doesn't it? I think so. And I like the potato chips that you get that look like they're a little burned and cracked. Those are my favorites. I used to follow Wise potato chip trucks into the convenience store so I could get the latest freshness date. That was my obsession. I would often use just a little ketchup on the side, but there's probably enough of the tomato sauce base here. And I'll put this all away later. Because I am a little tired, I have to tell you. I'll snap back. I think we're done pretty much. Wipe the side of the plate so it presents well. Not a single dish came out of our open in the country French restaurant without it first going by my eyes. And there we go. Bon appetit. Cheers. The victuals are on. Yum. Peace out, y'all. Protect the Constitution, please. It's not the document's fault that no one follows it. It's our job to teach others patiently. We only need 5 or 6% more. Remember, it only took 10% of colonials to win a nation, and we don't even have to do it violently. We just need a little assist. We're not that far. We don't need 51%. Educate the public who walks the sidewalk, who doesn't understand what we know. That's all. Peace out, y'all. Love ya. Liberty Ranger loves ya. Oh, that looks great. I'm going to probably have this for tomorrow because I'm really a little too tired. I had an apple when I ran in to lie down while watching Bao, and 3 or 4 of those cheese crackers that you get in the packages, and that's fine for me for now. Later, bye. You don't need to stay here for cleanup time. You really don't. And it's not a great cleanup. It's a minimalist cleanup. I'll be all right. I know my body. I'll be okay. All right. Turn off the light. The light of liberty and freedom. If it's an ember, keep blowing on it, please. As long as that spark's there, there's hope. Never give up. Never give up. Never give up. What did I say? I said never give up. Later. I'll tell you to turn this off. Okay.